Little content area reading and practice our Dissect Strategy. So this is from Industrialization and the Rise of Big Business. And down here we're going to start. By 1900, only 4 in 10 were working in agriculture. Cities swelled with millions of people depending for a living not on agriculture, but on industry, commerce, transportation, and the service industries. To many in the countryside, cities were simply sinkholes of sin, overrun with unwelcome foreigners, Jews, and Catholics. Although the heartland's values retained remarkable and disproportionate force despite the shifting economic realities. So, the context here in this sentence, the context is that we are looking at this, the countries have, the values of the heartland were disproportionate. So if we look at the context, we can kind of see that we're kind of getting a sort of idea what this word might mean. So these values of the heartland are disproportionate with those held by the rest of the country. But it's still kind of a tricky word. So first we'll isolate the prefix dis, of course, which means not. If you are dissatisfied, you are not satisfied. And then we will separate out the suffix, which is ate, which ate meaning marked by having, which is kind of a funny, so if something is innate, it is inborn, marked by having this inborn. So we've established that. So it's so we have this stem word here, proportion. So let's examine the stem, proportion. We kind of know that proportion means dimensions or size or proper relation between things as far as size. We have, so if we examine, so if we sit and really think about it, not relative to the size, So if we go back to maybe context, we can see that the values held by the Midwest had a force that was not relative to the size of those working in that area of the country. So the values were disproportionate with the rest of the countries because they were not held by the majority. So that is the disproportionate. Okay, here we'll do another one. Okay, here we're in another section of the paper. The bundle of economic changes that historians crudely summarize with the term industrialization was multifaceted and complex phenomenon with many different meanings. So multifaceted. So multifaceted is kind of another large word. So let's separate out the suffix and prefix. So we have multi-facet-ed. So multi meaning many, and faceted ed meaning past tense. So we have many and faceted. So we should examine our stem word here, facet. The closest we can come to the stem of the root, the word, is face. So these economic changes that historians summarize with the word industrialization had many faces and was a complex phenomenon with many different meanings. So that goes back to our context very well. It had many meanings, many faces. So this industrialization that was sweeping the country took many forms. So that is my video on the Dissect Strategy.